Um, Mr. President, we don't know. We'd like to start with a video that we had made. Would it be okay if Andrew showed that?
That would be wonderful.
Would that work?
That. So I'm trying to get.
He's
As we approach the one-year mark of this pandemic,
We want to take this time to make sure our teachers and staff know how thankful we are that you are a part of the NLCS team.
We never could have predicted this pandemic.
And the effect it would have on our schools.
But what doesn't hurt us at all
Is that our staff, and especially our teachers,
meet and continue to overcome these unprecedented challenges daily.
our teachers have adapted to virtual learning,
as well as the resurgence of in-person learning,
reaching students through masks and social distancing classes.
while continuing to support and build relationships.
There has never been a time when the dedication,
Sacrifice, unity of our teachers and staff, and everyone else. These are difficult days for all of us.
We are longing for normalcy and know we are tired and frustrated.
wondering when and if this will ever end.
And as this pandemic grows on, our students need you now more than ever.
Students need the stability that you're providing.
So, that's what you are right now.
We know they are main concern for them. Because you know they need more than this class.
As we all face challenges brought,
COVID-19 pandemic, we want you to know that we see you. We appreciate you and are so thankful for each of you.
Thank you, bus drivers. Thank you, principals. Thank you, counselors.
It was a fun video to make, and it was a nice way, and I know Andrew and so many of us all participated, but it was nice. And lots of nice feedback, and it was great. So
I got good feedback on that as well.
Yeah.
Good job. Nice job. Everyone's part except for myself. And good. Stuck that in front of my face. And I need it. Here, help me out with this. All right, go ahead and get started. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There may be time for public participation as indicated by agenda item or as directed by the president. Meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent at the school corporation's central office. The meeting will be electronically recorded and will be kept on file in the superintendent's office. A copy of the audio recording will also be available on the NLCS website. The website address is www.nlcs.k12.in.us. With that, we call the meeting to order. Rise and uncover, say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Review for approval of minutes executive session memorandum from December 17th, 2020. Get a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you. Item 4, review for approval minutes, executive session memorandum from January 7th, 2021. Can get a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you. Item D, persons to address the board relative to the agenda. Andrew, do we have any cards? Seeing none. Item E, claims and payroll. Janice.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, for claims and payroll since our last board meeting, I present to you for approval $6,683,129.11. Seeking your approval for those claims and payroll.
Get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion and a second.
Second.
I'm sorry. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same. I apologize. Andrew just sent me a note here. I think
Just repeat.
I think Wendy made the motion. Rusty seconded it.
No, I
don't.
I'm sorry. I see. So anyway, I know I guess it's tough for you guys.
Just repeat the names. Thank you.
Mask. So my apologies.
Second.
See, I got, that's what happens. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
We did. Aye.
Okay.
We're good? Any questions?
Any questions for Janice? She was still standing there. I think I have already.
Don't put this on me.
Item F, Christie, personnel.
Thank you. Our first category in new hires, these are certified. We have our school psychologists for the next school year, Tammy Coons, Tammy Mila, Megan Roy Shepley, and Todd Stevens. I bring those to you for your approval.
Get a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Get a motion. A second, Mr. Bailey. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
And then under support staff certified, we have Amanda Alcorn for a new NLCS nurse. And under instructional, Rebecca Gully, Lincoln Elementary Instructional Assistant, Madison Jean, Malitic Campus Instructional Assistant. Bring those to you for your approval.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Mr. Garrison and Mr. Lambert. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you. Transfers, for support staff, we have Tammy Byer, and she is transferring just as from her regular administrative position to a 52-week administrative assistant. Krista Blevins transferring from the Early Learning Center to Charlotte before school care. Joni Hayes transferring from a middle school assistant to an elementary instructional assistant. Karen Key transferring from 180-day CDA to the 52-week lead facilitator. Stacy Leach transferring from a Lytic instructional assistant to Shawswick Resource instructional assistant. Tracy Miller transferring from 180-day to a 52-week lead facilitator. Kim Morris transferring from 180-day administrative assistant to a 52-week administrative assistant at the Early Learning Center. Brooklyn Morrow transferring from 180-day CDA to the 52-week lead facilitator. Natalie Pemberton transferring from Parkview self-contained instructional assistant to Shawswick self-contained. Alexis Philpott transferring from 180-day instructional assistant at the Early Learning Center to a 52-week instructional assistant. And I bring those to you for your approval.
Question. Just for my benefit, since I'm not sure, but like on Tammy Byer, for instance, does that position change or is that just a contract? Is she staying in the same position?
Yeah,
Right.
she's our registrar at the high school. The other thing that has changed with a lot more students, just with virtual school and taking classes early, the last 2 or 3 years, she's really been working almost all summer. The other thing that position does is the work permits all summer.
Okay.
So we're really just really making it what it is, which is some all year round.
All year round, gotcha. Thank you.
And a lot of that position has just changed. Good question.
Any other questions?
Motion.
Mr. Bailey makes a motion in a second.
I'll second.
Ms. Miller seconds the motion. Questions on the motion?
This one, are most of these transfers, I mean, I know that was explained, are they all, like a lateral transfer, no reduction in pay type transfers?
Correct.
Correct, okay.
Right,
Making
right.
sure.
Right, several of those are the early learning center, as we created those positions, we didn't think about those are really year-round positions, so most of those are those lead facilitators, those community classroom teachers will be year-round.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you. And personal leave request, Christina Bush has requested an unpaid personal leave for the remainder of this school year for personal reasons. I bring that to you for your approval.
Your motion to approve?
Motion.
Mr. Bailey makes the motion in a second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Lambert seconds the motion. Questions on the motion?
If it's unpaid, why do you vote? The budget for just to maintain a position? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think she would have the option to, if she had any benefits, that she would pay 100% of it. But as you see in the next recommendation, she's actually submitted a resignation at the end of this school year.
And sometimes they will take it to go back to school or things, and they can't take another position, but that's not the case in hers.
It is, I've never seen this before. It is a little bit different.
Any other questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you. Resignations and certified, we have Christina Bush. Under support, we have Jody Bennett resigning as Shawswick Elementary Instructional Assistant, Deborah Darnell resigning as BNL Custodian, Jeff Lombrick resigning as NLCS Bus Driver, Marty Leonard resigning as Shawswick Elementary Resource Instructional Assistant, Teresa Sanders resigning as CC Administrative Assistant, Lindsay Staggs resigning as Athletic Campus Super Sub, DJ West resigning as BNL Girls Soccer Coach. And terminations, Darren Slate is being terminated as NLCS Technician, Joshua Schlosser being terminated as Maintenance, NLCS Maintenance. And retirement, Joanne Klunder is retiring as NLCS Elementary Instructor after 10 years of service. So those are just informational items. And then we also have some medical leave requests. Kim Hostetter, Brooklyn Morrow, Jacqueline Reynolds, Sabrina Sumter, Kenzie Terry, and Whitney McCullough. And information is there for you. Any questions?
Any other questions for Christy?
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only one more thing I'd just like to share, and we just received it this afternoon at the middle school, our wrestling, Dwayne Higgs, who has coached for us, he's agreed to do that position, and then he has someone that's going to help him, but we're kind of waiting on the background check and everything. And of course, with COVID, we haven't been meeting and participating, but I just wanted to let you know we did get that covered. And I don't see any problems with it. It will have it on the agenda next board meeting. We just didn't have all of the everything completed.
Item G, Mr. Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the agenda tonight is consideration of an extension of Dr. Muggle's contract. Current contract was entered into July 25th, 2019. It was a 3-year contract that ran through June 30th, 2022. What the board needs to do tonight to address that, if the board desires to extend the contract, is have a motion, second, and a vote on amending the contract, to extend the termination date of the contract 2 years to June 30th, 2024. I have a written addendum to the contract. Because it's a written agreement, it has to be amended in writing. So both parties would have to execute that if it's approved. So I present that for your determination.
Entertain a motion. Mr. Garrison makes the motion, a second.
Second.
Mr. Gerges seconds the motion. Questions on the motion?
I might add, apologize to interrupt. No other terms and conditions of the contract change other than that. So everything else remains in full force and effect from the previous contract.
Thank you. Other questions on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same.
Aye.
Aye.
The record reflects that. Do you have that?
If you could just speak them out.
Show of hands. All in favor? Those opposed? Thank you. Mr. Pittman, you're still up.
Okay, thank you. I have presented the board with a resolution to offer the real property that was formerly owned by the Perry Township, back to the Perry Township trustee. There's a statute in the Indiana Code that provides that when a consolidated school corporation determines that property that was acquired from a township prior to consolidation is no longer needed for school purposes, the governing body of a consolidated school corporation has to offer that property back as a gift to the advisory board of the township. At Springville, the building corporation for North Lawrence Community Schools owns a little more than 10 acres that would be considered the campus of Springville Elementary. There are approximately 5 acres that were formerly owned by the township. It was deeded, I believe, from the Shorts to Bob Short, right? Bob Short to and his wife to the Perry Township School, and that was in 1961. That has to be offered back. We've talked about this to some extent in meetings in the past. That property out there has been subject to bonds. There's a bond indenture, so similar to a mortgage. So at this point and up until now, it's still been used for a school purpose. So this statute really didn't apply until those bonds are moved from that property. But we are working on that and have been since, I believe it was August of last year, once the lawsuit that was filed by the parent group was dismissed in July. So we're at a point now where we don't have the release back from the bond, the trustee bank, but it's been approved and we should get it any time. That's been sent by bond counsel to the trustee bank, and they made a few, had to exchange a few more documents, but it's, from what I understand, it's been approved and just hasn't been delivered yet. So as soon as that is, which won't be long, once that's recorded and the building corporation can convey the real estate, the 5 acres, back to North Lawrence Community Schools, we'll be in a position to offer that property back to the trustee. This resolution authorizes the president, the secretary to execute an offer back to them once those two things have been accomplished, and to sign a deed to the advisory board if they choose to accept it. We are also continuing to communicate with their attorney about the terms of the conveyance and the possibility of a reversion of the property back to the school corporation. We don't have an agreement on that. However, they're presenting a proposal for that, among other things. We don't have that proposal yet. We're supposed to get it sometime in February, I believe, before our next meeting. So this also authorizes the president, vice president and secretary to negotiate or enter into any other agreements related to that transfer that might be in the best interest of the school corporation. So that's the extent of the resolution. So I'd offer that to the board. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Well, go ahead and take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Ms. Miller makes the motion in a second. Second. Mr. Gerges seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Any questions from Mr. Pittman? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution authorizing the transfers of real estate to Perry Township, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same.
Okay, what's this, it doesn't affect the vote, what's this quit claim deed? It just means that we just quickly we get it to them immediately?
What a quit claim deed is the other option is a warranty deed. A quit claim deed just means we're conveying whatever interest we have in the property. We're not giving any warranties of title or anything like that. That's what the statute requires.
Take it as is.
Exactly.
Any other questions?
I'm done, man.
Okay, moving on. Item H. Mr. Mumble.
We just need a formal vote on the meeting dates for the year. And I shared that last at our organizational meeting, so I think we kind of had time to look at it and we put that out. So just kind of make it formal and then we can put it on our website. And obviously, we're not restricted in any way. We can change it at any time, special meetings, or it's basically the first and third Thursday, like we've been doing. I think maybe there was some changes when there was possibly spring break or maybe a Thanksgiving break. We changed it accordingly. But we're not tied to it in any way. Obviously, we can advertise any change, but just
Didn't change from the last meeting.
correct. No,
Okay, good.
no. It's same as last week.
Because I've already put it in my calendar.
Okay. Yeah. No, it didn't change. I wanted to share it at the organizational meeting, and then I thought we could I need a simple vote every year if we approve them.
Get a motion to approve. Motion. Mr. Bailey makes the motion and a second. Gerges seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Thank you. Item I, persons to address the board. Seeing none. Item J, closing business, upcoming meetings. There will be an executive session at 5:15 PM on Thursday, February 4th, 2021 at the NLCS Administration Building. There'll be an executive session at 5:15 PM and a regular session at 6:30 on Thursday, February 18th, 2021 at the NLCS Administration Building. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion. Mr. Gerges makes the motion in a second.
Second.
Lundberg seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor,